You know, folks, I don't really want to film vlogs every day. I'm not that kind of guy. And I know it'll be hard for me to stop doing that in 2024, as is my promise to my socio-cybernetic project, at least for the Dr. Humanix YouTube channel. But, you know, like, there's COP28, and I hear conversations that are ridiculous, so I have to do a little series on COP28 now. So this one is from COP28, Bill Gates on climate optimism, wealth, and the human condition. When I saw human condition, it triggered me right away. So here's what he has to say, and I'll have to kind of give you a different take on it, the Homo sapien take on what he's saying.
Claim in any way, that means I can leave the problem alone, because I should use my skills and money to drive innovation, so that this problem doesn't just get solved for my emissions, it gets solved for everyone's emissions. I hope more people of wealth get involved in this, just like, I hope they get involved in philanthropy in general and global health. I do think those who are the luckiest, and I'm certainly in that group, we owe a lot to the society that created that framework, and we should have a long-term view of how we make a contribution.
Should have a long-term view? You mean like in a controlling future history kind of way? But the thing is the type of society that you lived in that made you rich at those levels was a type of society that also created people poor at inhuman levels, and required many of them for you to live your lifestyle and to be able to make such comments, with everything handed to you on a silver platter. So if you are kind of trying to make sure more people survive in the future, and get innovative at, having, again, a minority live a particular way. And by the way, it's possible to be healthy and happy without, having money, because what we need to do in innovation is up here. It relates to human rights, really, equality. It relates to living in healthy ways with the natural world, to actually not be draining it of its own freaking life like a vampire, but also to develop the human thinking tools and social skills to be happy as social creatures, creative social creatures. So what he's talking about as innovation and wanting to invest in that, it's always existed. It's contraception. Okay, so again, it's the basic thing about the Anthropocene, including the climate emergency. There's too many. But of course, he doesn't want less people. He wants to save people. And I'm not saying kill people. I'm saying have less people to kill or to live, but to live through suffering. Again, I'm talking about quality, not quantity. Now, he's going to insult me some more, the Doctor of Humanix, by talking about what he considers to be a conversation about the human condition.
The situation right now, we're hearing headlines, we're hearing from the UN Secretary General that it's getting dire, that we're running out of time, we're running out of carbon that we can put into the atmosphere. You recently said, though, there's more reason to be optimistic than people realize. Why is that?
Well, the human condition, continues to improve. The headlines, of course, accurately talk about things that are going wrong, but
okay, so he's saying, yeah, the headlines kind of show we're devolving as a species, but his argument for optimism, so that he can, do business as usual and maintain the status quo, is...
we now have half as many children dying every year. It was over 10 million at the turn of the century. Now it's down below 5 million. And so we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that as we meet these...
I'd like to challenge those numbers for this year, next year, the year after. And I'd like to challenge them based on people that say the kind of things that you're saying, that give a totally wrong view about what the human condition is. and you start by saying, oh yeah, we're seeing all this in the news, but I need you to overlook this and only look at the fact that from this century to past century, there's less kids dying. Now, he mentioned numbers, but there's also a lot less people on Earth a century ago. So again, using math to give false hope in a manipulative way like this is what is called economics. Okay, it's a form of mental illness. Okay, one that he will want to continue to benefit from at the expense of more children.
Challenges. You know, we did create Gavi to buy vaccines. We did create Global Fund to buy bed nets to reduce malaria deaths. And so we should be.
These things that he talked about, if you do the research about how fair or unfair the vaccines were and who was getting the ones of this type of quality and or this lack of quality, and also how there's still many people that need mosquito nets at night, then yeah, again, the evidence about the human condition are exactly in those things. Go see what was done to make us look good and see how it failed, and then we don't talk about how it fails and we regress in those solutions, because that's the truth about the human condition.
Doing more. The idea of helping the poor countries, reducing inequity, you know, I'm always impatient that we're not doing enough there. But people shouldn't lose sight of the fact that
very distracted
in the climate area and in the health area, the human condition can continue to improve.
What's the biggest thing that gives you hope right now
not
that we can
and
do
it will
this,
continue when
that we
people
can
like
keep
him
global warming to around 1.5
say things like
degrees
this?
Celsius?
Well, 1.5 is not likely
I'm going
to be achieved, but
that was part one.